Please like this video. I really need your support right now. It's the only way this story can reach more people. Thank you so much for being here with me and for your support. I was sitting at the kitchen table in our little suburb outside Charlotte, North Carolina, doing the kind of adult stuff nobody brags about. Lights on, kids fed, bills paid. Real glamorous. Lauren's laptop was right there on the counter, already open. Mine was upstairs, and I wasn't about to hike the stairs for a 2-minute payment. I slid her laptop closer, clicked the utility site, and that's when the first tiny pebble hit the windshield. The login field was already filled in. Not saved in the browser. Not click here to autofill. I mean, the cursor wasn't even blinking. The email address was sitting there like someone had typed it 10 seconds ago. Same with the password. Little dots already lined up. That's not a crime. It's not even suspicious if you're not paying attention. But I pay attention. I do not live my life like a tourist in my own house. I hovered over the button. I had a half-second where my brain offered me the easy option. Pay the bill, close the laptop, pretend you never noticed. Keep the peace. Keep the routine. Then that quiet alarm inside me clicked on. Not panic. Not anger. Just that cold, calm feeling that says, something's off, and ignoring it won't make it go away. I hit login. Instead of the payment page, a different tab popped forward like it had been waiting. Email. The corner showed her name. Lauren. Signed in. And right there, near the top, was a thread with a contact saved as Ryan. For 1 second, I still tried to be reasonable. Ryan could be anyone. Co-worker. Vendor. Some guy in a group project. Maybe a friend's husband. Maybe nothing. I clicked it anyway, because I'm not the type to accept maybe when no is available. The first messages were clean enough to let you lie to yourself. You look great today. How'd the meeting go? That color works on you. Sure. Flattering. A little personal, but not necessarily a disaster. I could have closed it right there and still slept that night. Then I scrolled. Last night was unforgettable. When you hugged me like that, I felt like I was exactly where I wanted to be. Can't stop thinking about you. My mouth went dry, and it wasn't because I was shocked. It was because something heavy settled in my chest, like wet concrete. Not exploding. Setting. I kept scrolling, and the words turned into logistics. Can't wait for the weekend. That hotel by the lake still do last-minute reservations? Same place. Same room. There it was. Not fantasy. Not harmless compliments. Planning. Coordinates. A separate life with calendar entries. I stared at the screen until the letters stopped looking like letters and started looking like a decision. Then I closed the laptop, gently, like it was a sleeping snake. I stood up and walked through my own house like I was a guest. Jake was 17, stretched out on his bed with headphones on, mouth open like he didn't have a care in the world. Emma was 14, curled up under a blanket with her phone charging beside her. Both of them safe, both of them unaware that the foundation under them had just cracked. I didn't wake them. I didn't touch anything. I just looked at them and made myself a promise. Whatever happens next, I'm not blowing their lives up in one dramatic evening because I couldn't control my temper. And another thought hit me right behind that promise. If I'd known where it was headed, I would have done things even faster. The next morning, I ran the house like normal. Coffee, eggs, the school run, Jake's practice schedule, Emma's ride. I smiled on command. I answered questions. I kept my voice steady. Lauren floated through the kitchen like nothing existed outside her own head. Morning, she said, grabbing a mug. Morning, I answered, watching her, not chasing her. She was different when you knew what to look for. Not guilty, exactly. More managed. Her phone didn't leave her hand. When it did, it was face down. When she typed, her shoulders angled away like she was shielding a secret from the air. At the sink, she leaned close to the mirror and fixed her hair with extra care. A little perfume misted the hallway. New, not her usual. Emma walked in rubbing her eyes. Mom, did you buy new perfume? Lauren didn't miss a beat. Just trying something. Does it smell okay? Emma shrugged. Yeah, fancy. Lauren smiled like she'd been complimented on a promotion. I poured coffee and kept my face neutral. In my head, I was labeling things like a mechanic diagnosing a problem. Scent. Extra effort. Guarded phone. Late showers. Quick exits. When we got in the car to take Emma to school, Lauren slid into the passenger seat with her phone already in her palm. You don't have to come, I told her. She blinked at me. I like coming. Since when? She gave me a little laugh that was meant to sound casual. Since I'm trying to be a better mom. I glanced at her. That's so. Why are you acting weird? She asked. Weird how? She rolled her eyes, and there it was, the first little dart. Like I'm on trial. I'm riding in the car, Ethan. Relax. I kept my eyes on the road. I am relaxed. She scoffed. Sure you are. At drop-off, Emma hopped out and waved. Lauren waited until the car door shut before she leaned back, phone lighting up. You got a busy day? I asked calm. Yeah, she said, tapping the screen. Big meeting with leadership. New dress for a meeting? She looked down at herself like she'd forgotten she had a body. Pencil dress, heels she rarely wore, makeup like she was going somewhere that mattered more than our kitchen. It's important, she said, voice crisp. Ryan's presenting the project and asked me to be there. She dropped the name like it was a spoon in a sink. Normal. Meaningless. Nothing to see here. I nodded once. Ryan. Yeah. She finally looked at me. Why? No reason. I turned into traffic. Have fun with leadership. Her eyes narrowed like she didn't like my tone, even though I hadn't given her one. You're being sarcastic. No, I said. I'm being specific. That made her quiet. And when Lauren got quiet, it wasn't peace. It was recalculating. That afternoon, I did what I always do when something threatens my home. I gathered information. Not like a teenager digging for drama. Like a man preparing for a storm. I called a buddy of mine, Marcus, during a break at work. Marcus is the kind of guy who never sugarcoats anything. He owns a small contracting business and talks like every sentence costs money. You sound like you're chewing glass, he said. I need you to look up someone for me, I told him. He chuckled. That's a weird way to start a conversation. Ryan. Works at Lauren's company. Younger. Rising star. Marcus whistled. That kind of Ryan. Just look. He didn't ask for a speech. He asked one practical question. You want professional info or personal? Both. Give me 2 hours, he said, and then added. Also, don't do anything stupid. I'm not built for stupid, I replied. Good. Because stupid is expensive. Let me pause the story for just a second. If you're still here, please hit the like button. It really helps YouTube recommend this story to more people. Thank you so much for your support. Now, let's get back to the story. 2 hours later, he texted me a short summary like he was sending a job estimate. Ryan, early 30s, single, fast promotions, the kind of profile picture that screams confidence. A guy who looks like he talks over people and gets thanked for it. I sat at my desk and stared at the message until my mind connected the dots I didn't want connected. This wasn't just attention. This was a ladder. Ryan was a shiny symbol. A door to a version of herself she thought she deserved. Young, admired, important. And our house. Our kids. Our routines. Those were her safety net while she chased that feeling. That night, I kept my routine. Dinner. Jake complaining about his coach. Emma rolling her eyes at her brother. Lauren tired, but still checking her phone between bites. At one point, Jake asked, Mom, you coming to the game Friday? Lauren didn't look up. I'll try. I spoke before I could stop myself. Try. She finally raised her eyes. I have work, Ethan. Jake shrugged like it didn't matter, but I saw his jaw tighten. 17 or not, a kid notices. After dinner, Lauren went upstairs for a shower that lasted forever. When she came down, hair perfect, skin glowing like she'd been on a spa weekend instead of in our bathroom. Emma was on the couch. You look like you're going to a party. Lauren smiled too wide. Just cleaning up. Emma muttered, must be nice. Lauren's smile tightened, and she shot me a look like I'd trained the kids to be difficult. I didn't defend her. I didn't attack her. I stood up and took my plate to the sink. Later, when Lauren came into our bedroom and tried to slide into bed like nothing had changed, I picked up my phone and walked out. She followed me into the hallway. Where are you going? Guest room. What? Her voice rose just enough to signal control. Why? I looked at her calm. I sleep better when I'm not next to someone who's somewhere else. Her face went still. What does that mean? It means I'm tired, I said, and I let the sentence sit there like a closed door. She stepped closer. Don't do that. Don't punish me because you're in a mood. I tilted my head. Punish you? Lauren, I'm not your parent. I'm adjusting. To what? She snapped. I smiled once dry. To reality. That was my first move. Not a threat. Not a fight. A change in access. She didn't get my body next to hers while she played two worlds. In the guest room, I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, listening to the house. I didn't cry. I didn't spiral. I just planned. Because in my head, one question was already open like a tab I couldn't close. How far did this go, and how clean can I cut it without damaging the kids? The next day, she tried softness. I came downstairs to find a plate of breakfast already made. Eggs, toast, the whole look at me being thoughtful display. Lauren leaned against the counter in her robe, hair still damp, acting like we were in some cozy commercial. Morning, she said gently. I sat at the table. Morning. She pushed the plate closer. I made you breakfast. I can make my own, I replied. I know. She gave me that careful smile. I just wanted to. I took a bite, because I'm not dramatic. But I didn't reward the performance with emotion. She sat across from me. You've been distant. I chewed, swallowed, and looked at her. Have I? Yes. Her voice got a little shaky on purpose. Did I do something? I almost laughed. Not because it was funny, because it was insulting. Like she thought I was a dog she could redirect with a treat. I set my fork down. Lauren, I'm not doing the what's wrong dance. She blinked. What dance? The one where you pretend to be confused until I do all the talking, I said. I'm not in the mood. Her eyes flashed. There was the real her, peeking out from under the soft voice. So what? You're just going to freeze me out. I'm going to keep my peace, I corrected. Those are different. She leaned in, reaching for my hand. I'm trying. I moved my hand back, calmly. Try somewhere else. She pulled back like I'd slapped her, then switched tactics. Wow. Okay, so we're doing this. You won't even tell me what I did, but you want me to fix it. I didn't ask you to fix anything, I said. I changed how I show up. And that was the first illusion right there. Breakfast, soft voice, a little vulnerability. Right after I changed the bedroom. It looked like care. It felt like strategy. That afternoon, Marcus called me again. You got a minute? He asked. Yeah. He lowered his voice. You want to know where Ryan likes to spend his weekends? I didn't answer right away. I didn't want details for entertainment. I wanted facts for decisions. Talk. Lake. Same area you mentioned, Marcus said. And listen, there's something else. A coworker of mine knows someone in that office. Word is, Lauren's been pushing hard to get on that new team. The one Ryan leads. There it was. The goal had a shape now. Not romance. Position. Status. Proximity. A shiny new life where she felt chosen. I thanked Marcus and hung up. By the time Lauren got home that evening, she was sharp again. No soft voice. No breakfast act. She breezed in, heels clicking, phone buzzing, smelling like those new perfumes again. Jake was at the kitchen island working on something for school. Emma was in the living room watching a show. Lauren dropped her bag and said, Ethan, I need you to handle Friday night. I have something important. Jake looked up. My game. Lauren waved a hand. I know. I said I'd try. Emma leaned around the corner. So you're not coming. Lauren's eyes went cold. Don't start. I stepped in before my daughter had to fight her own mother. Friday's covered. Lauren looked relieved for half a second, then tried to take control back. Good. And Saturday, my sister might stop by? I need the house clean. I stared at her like she'd offered me a chore chart. You need the house clean? Yes, she said, like that was normal. It reflects on me. I raised an eyebrow. Tell your sister to bring a vacuum then. Her jaw tightened. Excuse me. You heard me, I replied. If you're hosting, you handle it. She turned to the kids with a fake laugh. Your dad's being difficult lately. Jake didn't laugh. He just looked down, uncomfortable. Emma crossed her arms. Maybe you're being weird. Lauren snapped her head toward Emma. Go do homework. Emma didn't move. That's my girl. Lauren pointed. Now. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't posture. I simply walked to the pantry, pulled out a whiteboard marker we use for grocery lists, and wrote 3 words on our kitchen board. New house rules. Lauren's mouth opened. I wrote under it. No orders. No public digs. Then I capped the marker and looked at her. We're not doing that anymore. Her cheeks flushed. You can't just. Watch me. I cut in, calm. You want respect in this house? You model it. Jake's eyes flicked to the board, then to his mom. He didn't say anything, but I saw him register it. Dad's not playing. Lauren took a breath, and for a second, I thought she might explode. Then she forced a smile like a politician. Fine, she said. Whatever makes you feel better. I nodded. Good. She walked upstairs fast, like she needed to report to someone. My phone buzzed 10 minutes later with a text from her. Can we talk tonight? Please. I stared at it, then typed back. No, not tonight. I could almost feel her frustration through the screen. And in that moment, another loop opened in my mind. If she can't control me with warmth, what does she do next? Wednesday night, she came home late, wearing that tired mask like it was part of her outfit. Shoes off by the door, bag on the couch, like a woman who worked hard for her family. I was already at the kitchen table with a glass of water, hands steady. No theatrics, just a man ready to stop pretending. She tried the casual entry. You eat. I didn't answer that. I looked at her and said, do you love him? She froze mid-step. What? I didn't blink. Ryan. She didn't do the fake outrage. She didn't laugh. She just went still, like the air had thickened. I don't know what you're talking about, she said. But the words came out weak, like she didn't even believe herself. I saw the messages, I replied. The unforgettable stuff. The weekend planning. The hotel by the lake. She stared at me, then slowly sat down across from me like her legs gave up. How did you see? Your laptop, I said. The utility site opened your email like it was already warm. She swallowed hard. Ethan, I didn't. I held up a hand, not angry, just stopping the noise. Don't do the I didn't thing. Start with facts. Her eyes filled. Not enough to ruin makeup. Just enough to look human. It wasn't supposed to happen, she said. I leaned back. Nothing ever is. She looked down at the table. It started with work. He paid attention. He listened. And I felt invisible here. I nodded once. So you built a second room to breathe in. Ethan. Facts, I reminded her. She took a shaky breath. We talked. A lot. It got personal. And then it went too far. I watched her. And the weekend? The hotel. She hesitated, and that hesitation told me everything. It was just an idea, she said. I gave her a look. Lauren, adults don't research hotels for ideas. She flinched. I never meant to hurt you. I let out a quiet, almost amused exhale. That's the nice thing about secrets. You never have to mean anything. She reached across the table, palm up. We can fix this. I didn't take her hand. I stood up. She panicked a little. What are you doing? I walked to our bedroom, pulled a small suitcase from the closet, and started putting in basics. Not dramatic. Not a full move. Just distance. Lauren followed me. Ethan, stop. Please. I zipped the case and turned toward her. I need space. Don't leave, she said, voice cracking. Think about the kids. I am, I replied. That's why I'm leaving tonight and not turning this house into a battleground. She stepped close, tried that soft touch on my arm. I'll end it. I'll do anything. I gently removed her hand. You don't get to bargain with me like I'm a service plan. Her face hardened for a second. So that's it. You're just going to walk away. I'm walking away from your double life, I said. If that feels like walking away from you, maybe check what you've been doing. I drove out to a cheap motel off the highway. Nothing fancy, nothing dramatic. Just a bed, a lamp, and silence. I called the kids, kept it normal. Dad, where are you? Jake asked. Work stuff, I said. A few days. Mom said you're upset. I'm fine, I replied. You good? Jake hesitated. Yeah, just weird. It's handled, I told him. Focus on your game. Emma texted me later. Are you mad at Mom? I typed back. I'm handling adult things. You're safe. I love you. That's all you need tonight. In that motel, I didn't drown myself in anything. I sat with the facts and mapped the next steps. Because feelings don't solve problems. Decisions do. For days later, I came back when the kids were out with friends. The house was quiet. Almost too quiet, like it knew. Lauren met me in the hallway like she'd been waiting for a verdict. Her voice went soft again. Thank God. I've been so worried. I didn't take the bait. We need to talk logistics. She blinked. Logistics? Yes, I replied. We're not doing emotional theater. We're doing reality. She followed me into the kitchen. The whiteboard still had new house rules on it. I didn't erase it. I left it there like a receipt. Lauren sat, hands clasped. Ethan, I made a mistake. I was lost. I'll cut him off. I'll change teams. I held up my hand again. Stop. She looked offended. Stop? I'm trying to fix it. No, I said. You're trying to keep your comfort. Her eyes flashed. That's not fair. Fair. I repeated, almost smiling. Lauren, you had a whole second calendar. Don't lecture me about fair. She swallowed. So what do you want? I want a stable life for the kids, I said. And I want my self-respect intact. Those two things can exist without us pretending this marriage still works. Her eyes filled again. We have history. We have kids, I corrected. History doesn't make disrespect disappear. She stood abruptly. So you're done? I nodded once. Yes. Her voice sharpened. You're really going to throw away years because of one mistake? I looked at her. It wasn't one mistake. It was a pattern. It was planning. It was you coming home to dinner and kids while you arranged weekends somewhere else. She flinched, then tried anger, because anger is control. You're not perfect either. I gave her a dry smile. I pay the electric bill and show up for my kids. My flaws aren't in the same category. She stared at me like she wanted to hit me with words. Then she changed again. Too fast, too smooth. Okay, she said, suddenly calm. If that's what you want, I'll make this easy. You can move out permanently. You're the one who's leaving anyway. There it was. Her countermove. Keep the house. Keep the image. Keep her base. Push me out like I'm the problem. I nodded like she'd just told me the weather. No. She blinked. No. I'm not being removed from my own home on your schedule, I said. Here's what's happening. I'm getting a place nearby for now, so the kids don't get dragged across town. We'll keep routines stable. And we're separating finances immediately. Her lips parted. You can't just. Yes, I can, I replied. Watch. I pulled out my phone, opened my banking app, and showed her the screen without handing it over. My paycheck is being rerouted today. Let me pause the story for just a second. If you're still here, please hit the like button. It really helps YouTube recommend this story to more people. Thank you so much for your support. Now, let's get back to the story. Household expenses will be split. You'll cover your portion. I'll cover mine. No more guessing. No more you floating while I carry. Her face tightened. So you're going to punish me? I shrugged. No. I'm going to stop funding your fantasy. She went pale, then tried another angle. Ryan isn't even. I cut her off. Don't say his name like it's a shield. It's not. She paced, then stopped and stared at me. You're doing this to hurt me. I didn't raise my voice. I'm doing this so you can't hurt me again. That was the kill turn for her. Not my words. Her realization that the easy levers, tears, guilt, anger, weren't moving me. So she went for the next lever, public image. Friday came. Jake's game. Our usual family ritual. Lauren showed up dressed like she was going to a corporate mixer, not bleachers. She walked up late, phone in hand, scanning the field like she was bored. I was there early with Emma. Jake spotted us and gave a small nod. That mattered more than any speech. Lauren slid into the seat next to me and leaned close, voice low. We should look united. I stared at the field. We should look honest. She smiled tightly. Stop being dramatic. People are watching. Good, I replied. Maybe you'll behave. She stiffened. Excuse me. Emma leaned across me, whispering, Mom, can you not? Lauren shot her a look. Don't talk to me like that. I turned, calm but solid. You don't talk to her like that either. Lauren's eyes went wide. In front of everyone? Yes, I replied. I don't care where we are. A guy behind us, one of the dads, a loud, friendly type, chimed in without thinking. Everything good over here? Lauren forced a laugh. Oh yeah, Ethan's just being intense. I looked at the dad and nodded politely. All good. Then I turned back to Lauren. You're not going to paint me as the unstable one. Not here. Her smile disappeared. You're embarrassing me. I leaned in slightly, voice steady. Embarrassment is what happens when your actions meet daylight. She sat back like she'd been burned, and for the rest of the game she stayed quiet, tapping her phone, pretending she didn't care. But I watched her eyes. She wasn't watching Jake. She was watching her screen. After the game, Jake came over sweaty and tired, still trying to act like he didn't need his parents' approval. Lauren lifted her phone. Great job, she said, already half turned away. Jake looked at me. I put a hand on his shoulder. Proud of you. Food after. His shoulders relaxed a little. Yeah. Lauren jumped in fast. I can't. I have work. Jake's face tightened. Of course. Lauren snapped. Don't be like that. Jake stared at her, voice flat. Like what? Honest. That hit her harder than anything I'd said all week. She opened her mouth, then shut it, because people were around. On the drive home, she tried the second illusion. Bigger, shinier, more desperate. She reached over and put her hand on my thigh like we were fine. We could do a family weekend, she said, too sweet. Just us. Reset. I moved her hand off me and placed it back on her own lap like I was relocating an object. Don't, I said. Her voice turned sharp. So you're just going to reject everything I offer? I'm rejecting the performance, I replied. If you wanted family weekends, you wouldn't have been scouting hotels with someone else. She stared out the window, jaw working. You're impossible. I nodded. Good. Saturday morning, I made my next move on foreign territory. Lauren had that big meeting again. She claimed it was a team prep thing. She also told me, with a straight face, that she needed the house empty Sunday afternoon because her sister might stop by and she didn't want tension. Translation, she wanted the house free. She wanted space. She wanted control. So I drove to her office area, public parking, public sidewalk, nothing crazy. I wasn't there to scream in a lobby. I was there to set a boundary with witnesses and facts. Lauren stepped out of the building around lunch, heels clicking, phone to her ear, laughing. Not a tired wife. Not a stressed mom. A woman on a mission. And there he was with her, Ryan. Younger, confident, walking close enough that it wasn't co-workers. He touched her elbow lightly as they walked, guiding her like she belonged to him. Lauren spotted me and stopped dead. Ryan looked at her, confused. Everything okay? Lauren's face did that quick reset. Ethan, what are you doing here? I kept my voice calm. I came to pick up something from you. Ryan offered a hand like he was meeting a neighbor. Hey man. Ryan. I didn't take it. I looked at Lauren. Tell him who I am. Lauren's smile twitched. This is my husband. Ryan's expression flickered, just a flash of calculation. Then he forced a grin. Oh, nice to meet you. I nodded once. Sure. Lauren hissed low. Not here. Yes, here, I replied. Because this is where you decided to build this. She grabbed my arm and tried to steer me away. You're making a scene. I stepped out of her grip. No, I'm making a boundary. Ryan shifted, hands up like he didn't want trouble. Look, I don't know what's going on. I glanced at him. Smart move. Keep it that way. Lauren's eyes went furious. You don't get to talk to him like that. I gave her a slow look. I don't get to? Lauren, I'm done asking permission to react to disrespect. She lowered her voice. You're trying to ruin my career. I laughed once, short and dry. No, you're doing fine on your own. Then I pulled out a small envelope and handed it to her. Inside was a simple list I'd printed, the new co-parent schedule I'd drafted, the finance split, and my new address. Close enough for the kids, far enough for my sanity. Lauren stared at it like it was a death certificate. You planned this, she whispered. Yes, I replied. That's what adults do when they see a cliff coming. Ryan took a slow step back like he suddenly remembered he had places to be. I'm gonna head out. Lauren snapped at him. Ryan, wait. He didn't wait. He just walked away, leaving her standing there with her image cracking in public. Her eyes filled, but her voice stayed sharp. You're not taking the kids from me. I kept my tone steady. Nobody's taking anyone. We're stabilizing their lives. You can either cooperate or keep making everything harder. She looked around, aware of people nearby. She forced a tight smile again. Fine. We'll talk at home. I nodded. No. We'll talk when it's useful. Not when you need control. I turned and walked away, leaving her on that sidewalk holding the paper like a reality she couldn't swipe away. That night, she tried to regain ground with a new tactic, blame. When I got home, she was in the kitchen, arms crossed, eyes bright with anger. You humiliated me, she said. I set my keys down. You introduced him to our life. I just acknowledged it. You showed up at my job like some jealous man, she snapped. I tilted my head. Jealous men beg. I delivered paperwork. She scoffed. You're trying to scare me. I'm trying to finish this clean, I replied. Scared is what you feel when your options close. She threw her hands up. So you're just going to destroy everything. I looked at her. Lauren, you already pulled the pin. I'm just stepping away from the blast. She stared at me, breathing hard, then tried one last softness. Her voice dropped, almost tender. I don't want to lose our family, she said. I nodded. Then you should have protected it. That Sunday, she pulled her biggest push. She asked me to take the kids out for the afternoon so she could have space and think. She said it sweetly, like she was the victim of stress. I looked at her and smiled. No. Her eyes narrowed. Why? Because I'm not leaving my house so you can stage whatever you're staging, I replied. She scoffed. You're paranoid. I leaned in slightly. Lauren, you don't get to call me paranoid after I read hotel plans with your name on them. She opened her mouth, then shut it. Then she did something bold. She said, fine, then I'll take the kids to my sister's. Emma walked in right then and heard it. Why? What's happening? Lauren forced a smile. Just a little break. Jake came in behind her, looking between us. A break from what? Lauren's eyes darted, calculating. She wanted to control the narrative. She wanted to move pieces without explanation. I didn't let her. I looked at my kids and kept my voice steady. Your mom and I are changing how we live. You don't need details today. You do need stability. You're staying here tonight. Lauren snapped. You can't decide that alone. I looked at her calm. Watch me. Then I turned back to the kids. Jake, you've got homework. Emma, you wanted to bake those cookies you keep talking about. Emma blinked, then nodded slowly, grateful for something normal. Lauren stared at me like she couldn't believe I was taking control in front of them without yelling. She stepped closer and lowered her voice. You're turning them against me. I answered just as low. No, your actions are doing that. I'm just keeping the house from tipping over. That was the point of no return. Not a screaming match. Not a dramatic reveal. Just me refusing to let her move the family like furniture while she chased status somewhere else. That night, after the kids went to their rooms, Lauren cornered me in the hallway. So what now? She asked, voice trembling with anger. I looked at her, calm and done. Now you live with the choices you made. She swallowed. And you think you're going to be happier? I nodded once. I'm going to be peaceful. That's better. She stared at me, eyes wet. You're cold. I gave her a small, almost polite smile. No, Lauren. I'm finished. I moved past her, grabbed my packed bag, already waiting by the door because I don't do chaos, and walked out. On the porch, I paused just long enough to turn back. This house was never yours to gamble with, I said. You just forgot that. Then I got in my car and drove to my new place, 10 minutes away. Close enough for school runs, far enough that I wouldn't smell her new perfume and pretend it meant nothing. Months later, life looks simpler in the best way. I've got a clean townhouse, a predictable routine, and a calm that feels expensive because I earned it. I'm doing better at work because my brain isn't trapped in a fog. Jake's applying to colleges, and he comes by to lift weights in my garage like it's our thing now. Emma still bakes cookies, and she leaves a few on my counter like she owns the place, which she does, in her own way. I started seeing someone new. Not a rebound, not a rescue mission. A grown woman who doesn't need secrecy to feel alive. We take it slow. We laugh. We plan simple things and actually do them. Lauren? She lost the comfort and the control she was trying to keep. The shiny life she chased didn't stay shiny when it had to stand on its own. The kids don't hate her, but they don't look at her the same either. That's not something you can fix with perfume and a soft voice. And me? I still pay the electric bill, just not for her house anymore.